8 a.m. Las Vegas, USA. The supercars at Exotics Racing are taken out to the track, ready for the customers to push to their limits. In charge of them is Enrique Ramirez. He's one of the world's best mechanics and can turn his hand to any vehicle. Enrique has a major task ahead of him today as he attempts repairs on one of the company's most lucrative earners.
This is our flagship car. It is the Lamborghini Aventador. This is the most expensive car in our fleet, also the most powerful, 700 horsepower. Very quick, very loud. Every hour, every day that this car is down, it's money that is lost in revenue. This one in particular is having some issues with leaks from its transmission. So today we are going to remove the transmission, take a close look at where it's coming from. Altogether, you're probably looking at anywhere from 60 to 80 hours. That's depending on the equipment that you have and the skill of the technician doing it. We try to cut that in half. These cars are just like my children. I treat them like I treat my own son, just with love. I know all their quirks. I know how they sound. I talk to them when no one's around and try to coax them to work properly. And yeah, just an extension of me. All right, seems okay.
Neonatal nurse Julie is coming to the end of her night shift at Stepping Hill Hospital. It's feeding time for one of the newest arrivals.
Oh, look at her, little gorgeous, isn't she? So Ariana's only 8 days old now, and she was born like 10 weeks early. She'll just be okay now with mum's milk every hour. So she's got a little feeding tube there, which is going into her mouth, and it goes right into her tummy, and that's what we'll feed her for the moment. She's lovely, aren't you?
Before Ariana can be fed, Julie takes a small sample from the baby's stomach to make sure the previous feed has been received and digested properly.
Yeah, that's still in the tummy, because anything dark like that one there, we don't want. It means the tube could have moved. But no, that's okay to feed, isn't it? So I'm just going to pop this in the syringe, and she's having now 11 mils every hour. Right, so I'll shut you up for a bit now, night-night, till your nappy change. Bye, see you tonight, whoever's here. Oh, it's daylight. Look. Didn't think there'd be any daylight, there is. Yay. 12 and a half hours, 13 hours since I left home. Ready for bed now. Oh, gosh. I'm so glad to be going home.
JFK enthusiast Patrick Silk is a border security officer who dreams of a life on stage and screen. He's been taking acting lessons, but draws much of his inspiration from personal experience.
We call it the University of Life. You know, for so many years I've acted in some respects. I thought, you know, why can't I do this professionally? You know, I think that's what I've thought about, and that's what's clicked in my head, to be fair, over the last year or so, 2 years or so, saying, Pat, why don't you do this professionally? You know, you're lost here.
Pat has joined an agency for TV extras.
Hi, Guy.
Today, he's paying them a visit and hopes for some good news.
Good to see you. How's it all going?
Very well, thanks.
Good.
Obviously, you know, we did the BBC drama last week, To Walk Invisible.
A lot of the big actors, Hollywood actors especially, like Harrison Ford, was a TV extra in a lot of things, and look where he's ended up now. Also, it's important here that because of my life experience, I can probably do any character that's given to me, and embrace that character and work with that character, and nail the character especially.
Well, there's plenty coming up. That's good news. So for your next job, this is the booking sheet in which you'll need for everything pretty much. Pretty straightforward.
Might be TV extras now, but as we go into acting now, and as I move on, hopefully, you know, I might play a role in it as a Kennedy, or in a film about the Kennedys. That'll be great. That'll be an icing on the cake.
With more TV extra work in the bag, Pat makes just one more stop before heading home.
Can't resist. You know, you're in Manchester, my club.
Superb. Cracking.
JFK, Manchester United, my acting. These are my three passions. They're my trinity.
Pat's love of United goes back over 4 decades.
This is the Manchester United shirt from 1977, from the year we won the FA Cup. That young team, Tommy Docherty, had transformed. That's when I started to get to sit up and look at it, you know, Jerry Daly, you know, Gordon Hill, Steve Coppell, Stuart Pearson, you know, Jimmy Greenough, Brian Greenough. It was a wonderful young side, flowing football. It's gone all the way through from there to the glory years with Sir Alex Ferguson. That's one of the ones we won the treble in '99. I'm obsessed with Man United. Every minute of every day is taken up with Man United. Love the badge. Love the badge.
Fantastic. Can't beat this feeling. Wonderful. I don't want to leave here, to be fair. I said I want my house to be plotted over there, and that's where I want to live, and I'll be happy then. That's where I want to be. They probably wouldn't put up with that, to be fair, if I had a house over there.
In Las Vegas, head technician Enrique Ramirez is attempting repairs on a £300,000 supercar. The pressure is on to return the car to the track and keep the money rolling in.
This is probably the most difficult car I've ever had to work on. When I was younger and I started getting into cars, I always told myself, you know, one day I would work on this type of vehicle, you know, be involved in this sort of thing. But, you know, those were just dreams. Looks like Man United is still tied on the Europa League match. Luckily, I can record the match at home, but it's definitely a bit of a bummer to have to work knowing that that's going on right now. My passion for football came from my father. I grew up in the children's leagues. I was a fullback, right fullback, and I also played central defense. Nothing better than a good, hard, crunching tackle on an incoming striker. Back in about 2000, 2001, I would surf the internet trying to find video clips of soccer games. There wasn't a lot of access to see those games. And I actually stumbled upon Ryan Giggs' FA Cup goal against Arsenal. The one where he tears his shirt off and he starts waving it in the air. The amount of skill in that goal blew me away. It was breathtaking. I've certainly never seen anything like that in the Mexican league. And then from there, I just kept looking up videos of Manchester United, and it just spurned from there. Eric Kent and Ruud van Nistelrooy, Cristiano Ronaldo, on and on and on, an endless list. Manchester United has always just taken this more of a homegrown approach, right? This more you play for the club, and the club is you, and you are the club. And it's just fantastic to watch. It's definitely an experience watching them is like no other club has ever offered.
The clock is ticking on the Lamborghini repair, and as if following the United game isn't distraction enough, an emergency call has just come through from the racetrack. One of the Ferraris is down.
Okay, copy. We'll head over shortly.
The race is now on for the master mechanic to make sure both cars get repaired and the customers are kept happy. Whilst Enrique was busy discovering Manchester United, web designer and lifelong Red Jamie Leeming had just started learning a sport of a completely different kind.
When you first get up, you see the rocks and things whizzing along under the under the water, and you look down the line of the wave, and realise that you're actually surfing, and it's very addictive. There is danger involved. You're almost harnessing the power of nature and using it to move along. All my holidays after that were based around surfing.
5 years later, in 2006, Jamie and his fellow surfer friend Sarah decided to travel to one of the sport's havens, Costa Rica.
It's a bit of a paradise kind of place, great wildlife, great surf. It just looked like the ideal place to go. The waves weren't very big, which was ideal really on the first day. I'd probably caught about 4 or 5 waves already. It was probably quite low in energy, and I paddled the board back out and went for the next wave. And I do remember that it was hard work trying to catch up with it, really. And when I did eventually catch up with it, I stood up, but it was probably a little bit too late, and the board just nosedived, and I went over forwards, hit my head on the seabed, and there was probably about a second where I was conscious, and then the lights just went out. The next thing I knew, I was floating face down, I couldn't move my legs. I couldn't even lift my head up to get breath. I didn't know how long I'd been unconscious. I was face down in the water and I needed to breathe